Okay, so I think what we do here is I want to take a quick look at our map. I want to double check just how many question marks we have remaining. Like, wait, this one here, is that it? That might actually be it. Over here, an abandoned site. Okay. So this one as well. Oh, and then we saw there was like a dungeony place here that we didn't have the key to actually open up a chest or something along those lines. I'm thinking that it appears as though we are getting pretty close to finishing this DLC. And so in the interest of having the main quest be the last thing that we do, I think it may make sense to go after these question marks now, and then from there, basically just go and mainline the main quest. I think that may be the best way to do it. Also, obviously, we're close to this question mark, so it's relatively convenient at the moment. I feel like there are still some areas that we maybe haven't run around that much, so there's the chance that we might be missing out on some things that, at least at the moment, aren't currently on our map. But let's take it one step at a time here, and let's at least begin by targeting this question mark here. That's dramatic. And I think we're done with everything at this estate. I think so, because obviously we had the whole painted world thing, right? But I think even before that, we looted just about everything here. And ran around pretty extensively. Remind me how we got in here, because apparently it was not through that gate. Is it through this gate? I mean, hold on. Our map is telling us, in theory, a way out of here. Is it directing us through this gate? It is saying we can go through it. At least appearing to say that we can do that. Geralt, can you walk through this gate? Because it doesn't appear so. So let's try the other gate and see if we can actually walk through this one. Because I remember that, right, there was some way in which we had to weasel our way in here initially. We didn't just waltz right on through. Felt like, it was kind of a Kaer Morhen situation where there was a broken wall somewhere and we walked through that instead. But where exactly that was, I do not recall. Like, could we even, do this? Not quite, and also that's probably a little too steep of a drop-off. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the place we're looking for. That's what I meant. Okay, so, let's see. Now the question mark, or the custom marker, he's on that question mark, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. It does mean walking around this place just a little bit. Oh, we still have the spade on. Yeah, I don't think we've actually gotten the chance to try that out yet. But the base damage, at least, was pretty impressive. So I'm curious. Have we even tried just, swinging it to see what it's like? I mean, Geralt uses it like a sword, kind of, sort of. And got the nifty spin moves. Yeah. You know? Heavy attacks? Why not? I mean, I want to see the whirl with it. More than anything, I think. Ooh. What do we have here? What is this? It's kind of close to our question mark, so this may be leading us in that direction. May also just be a random kill thing. Also, Geralt has decided to go Tony Hawk on us. Okay, starting to hear some enemies. This could be a monster's nest. This sounds like a draconid of some variety. That's because it is. Oh, it's even eating something? Son! Okay, there's actually a marker here even. And yes, this is the question mark. Hello? Did I clan? I did, okay. should probably throw on an oil. May not be necessary, but I mean, it's a level 34, right? So it's something. This is not the most straightforward of enemies we're going against here. Unfortunately, it is a monster, so that means we'll be using our silver sword rather than the shovel. So won't be able to use that on this occasion. Not unless we want to be seriously reducing our damage. Are technically the preferred route. Maybe not the best time to whirl. Then again, I feel like that's always what I find myself thinking. I thought that was ours that we had on. It turned out to be Quinn. That changed things. Oh, that hurt a lot. On second thought, yeah, maybe don't get super aggressive here and just try to finish it off. Put the Quinn back on. Yes, that is probably necessary. You could just... What the... Oh! I was like, what? What just happened? It died to the T-Gen, I think, but it looked pretty ridiculous. The way it dropped down like that. Alright, so there is a fast travel spot here. I'm curious what this says about this area. Defensive structure built during the reign of Vizimir the Just in the 13th century, time of intense Redanian-Temerian border conflicts. In the relative calm that followed, it fell into disuse, then disrepair. Okay, but it is... Well, we don't know yet. I technically guarded treasure, because there was, of course, the monster there. But could also be hidden treasure. What is this? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? There was also another flying draconid-like enemy.
Nest.
Oh,
to destroy it.
Really? Yes, like there's a draconid over there. We'll probably also try to take out. We'll pass on the skulls, but thank you. Is it just the one we saw off in the distance and now I've already lost it? There it is. So I heard something as well, but I imagine it's probably the same one. There's the staircase. And I mean, we'll seek this guy out, even if this dragon may not necessarily be guarding anything. Because I think, generally speaking, whenever we find one of the more unusual enemies, I like to make a point of going after it. Oh, hello. There you are. Oh, Draken Hollow? Is that... Hold on. Is that a different place from where we just were? That's the outpost, yeah, but I think this is one of those areas where I was saying before that, you know, we ran around a lot here early on. Oh, we actually have not finished this bandit camp here. Okay, that's also something we're going to want to do. But yeah, we ran around this area when we were underleveled and couldn't finish much of anything, basically nothing. But we did go back and do most of that, with the exception of this bandit camp. But I think we've done a little bit less right around here, and then any other areas that we haven't thoroughly investigated, like some of these farm areas. I don't think we've been actually in here. Don't know if we'll actually find anything there, or if that's just going to be herbs. Those are the places that come to mind. Then I think we were here-ish recently enough that I think once you start getting further south, that is something that or somewhere where we have been. But anyways, where did this dragon go? It's kind of hard to look up at dragons when, you know, the sun is that... Okay, well, this guy's level 14. We're like about to, you know, just absolutely annihilate this guy. Alright, you're gonna die to the T-Gen as well. Making a habit of it at this point. But I was curious to see if we tried following this river at least a little bit. Or body of water, whatever it was, although it has already disappeared on us. So what about, I mean, it's showing up on our mini-map, but this does not really look like our river right now. Yeah, I was interested to see if this actually led anywhere. This is obviously not the Pontar River. That's the big one. It is of great significance. Those are just wolves. Let's see, right now we're headed west, so we are in theory heading back toward the city right now. And therefore, likely... Okay. Sure. Likely heading more toward areas that we've already been, rather than further away into areas that are more unknown to us. So, like, at this stage, we know we've been to that bandit camp. And maybe if we went sort of south through here, we could see if there's anything that we come across that we've not yet seen. Because this might be one of the few areas that we haven't spent much of any time in. There's also some neckers chasing behind us. There are also many potentially... Oh, you're fast. Actually, quite fast. That's a necker warrior, not just a normal necker. But, I mean, for the most part, these guys are probably not really worth the time or effort. But yeah, I just want to see if there happens to be anything else over here. I think those are also neckers. Yeah, based on the sound effects. We're just trying to see if we missed anything here. Because I think outside of this section, I mean, we may have been here before. I just don't remember as well. If we have. So, in the interest of trying to be thorough, figured might as well take a closer look, make sure we didn't miss anything big. Does look very nice. But not sure there's much of anything special for witchers to do around here. Besides potentially fighting some random bandits. Okay, these guys we can fight with the shovel. Let's do it. Oh! Okay. I like it. The sound effect is absolutely amazing. Sublime. Unmatched. Bunch of horses? Bunch of horses. And, you know, we'll proceed to scare them all by running over here. But okay, I think, you know, just wanted to run around this area a bit. We have been to this herbalist, so we're getting close to areas that we've been to before. Maybe we go to the watchtower here and use that to fast travel maybe to Heddle to get ourselves close to this abandoned site in question mark. And then we'll go, maybe we'll see if we get something to make it possible to interact with this place that we have marked right now, which was, again, that dungeon that we didn't have the key for, or chest that we didn't have a key for, one of those two things. And then from there, we may just run north into the forest and make it up to the bandit camp. And then that might be it. That might be it. Let's actually, did I mark the fast travel spot? We should do that just to make that a little... I did. Okay, cool. We can axie a horse to seal it, but it's a wild horse. It has a family. I mean, like, sure, we can, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we should. But yeah, you're right. It is interesting to at least know that that's an option. Morally questionable as it may be, at least interesting to know it's an option. So yeah, I think we go to Heddle here. Okay. And so we've already freed up this place. And I believe this was, at the time, infested by the spidery dudes. So I'm guessing that this next one over probably will be as well, but who knows? Basically just down this path. It's not far away. Using Axie is always morally questionable. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, well, actually, it's this pathway in theory. Oh, okay, so it does have a different town name. These look like ghouls. Just ghouls, or do we also have Alghouls? Alghouls are definitely a bit different. Really? You see the way that that ghoul dodged that attack? I kind of take issue with how it miraculously just pulled out a skateboard out of nowhere and decided to slide out of the way. If we wanted to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, we'd be playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Okay, there's still at least a couple more here. Yeah. We no longer have Quen. Let's change that. It'll slow on the Igni there. We got you, and I think it might just be this other one that we're seeing in this direction. Then we may be done clearing up this, but now there's another ghoul a little bit further down. Okay. Actually, the question mark is a little further in that direction. But let's clear up this place first. I assume that after fighting off all the ghouls that it will liberate the abandoned site, as that is usually the case. This guy just, like, trying to run into a tree. Okay, it's a little strange. Okay, and yes, this did liberate the area. Those glasses, man. So stylish. Yeah, this place did have its own separate name, and let's see if it has any particularly interesting individuals for us to speak to. Also, are there any guards, or can we loot this stuff? Are you a guard? Are you just a random villager? You are a merchant. Okay. So let's loot, and then we'll trade with the merchant, and we may, proceed to sell the things that we're looting here to him. I think it's been a long time since we last sold our alchemy paste. We probably have several hundred of those. Because that is one of, if not the most common thing for us to loot out of the random chests we encounter. That and the Dwarven Spirit and what is it? One of the other alcohol-y things.
Everything all right, babe?
Okay. Then we also... Did we loot the last ghoul? No, we didn't. Let's just do that real quick. Now we'll chat with the merchant. Now, there's a chance... I've seen a lot of times with the merchants that show up in these abandoned sites that are actually people that were traveling merchants that we had spoken to previously. Now they just miraculously find a home.
Buying or just perusing?
And I think that might be the case here. Yeah, it is.
Show me what you've got on offer.
So we can, of course, still sell to this guy. But that means that perhaps not quite as intriguing as it might have otherwise been. So we'll dump our low-level weapons and armor that we basically just got from the bandits that we encountered along the way. How expensive, how valuable are these Fury swords? They're actually not very valuable, but I don't remember if there's anything decent we can break them down into, so it might be worth double checking that. I think we did check that similar Ophiri sword not that long ago, and I want to say that it was not that significant, but just in case, I think we'll hold on to him for now, because we are desperate to offload things. Though we do have this saddle that is not as good as our equipped saddle. Let's dump this, because that does weigh a lot, except the merchant cannot afford that, just barely. Maybe we buy something cheap, just so we can dump that saddle, because that saddle is pretty heavy. Anything cheap here that we'd like to pick up? Like, you have some of the materials we can use to make repair kits, but if you had just a pre-made repair kit, that might be kind of nice. You have the valuable gems, but those are going to be far more expensive than what we're looking to do at the moment. This is pure silver. I mean, we could buy one of those. It's not that expensive. The rune stones, are they all lessers? Which is pretty uninspiring. Okay, wait, there is a tiny little repair kit. Let's get that, and that might be just enough. Might be just enough to sell this. It is. Okay. Yeah, so again, mostly just to free up a little bit more weight here. Potentially some junk we could have dumped as well, but this guy is now still pretty broke. Ah, it's that same song, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. The one that they were singing when we were just about to, or actually just after the deal we made with Gaunter. And you know, that stuff may become pretty relevant. Oh wait, this is the question mark here. Let's save real quick. But yeah, I think that our narrative here with Olgierd, Iris, of course, and Gaunter is coming to a close, so we'll see what that all comes down to. Now, what is the deal with this dude? All these kids that are... Oh. Those are bodies that are burning there. So that's a great sign. Hidden treasure. It's like a random ballista here. And that's a dog, not some kind of monster. As for the actual hidden treasure, it's probably this. Okay, journal, completely ordinary key. My guess is this is going to be the thing that leads us to that chest or dungeon we were just talking about. One that we were saying we did not have the way to get into. Kulikov and his men are busy preparing the hunt, so I have a few moments to write up this whole incredible affair. A week back, I arrived home in Oxenford after a long journey and found I'd received a letter from my barrister. My aunt Helena had finally passed on and left all her belongings, including her hut outside Novigrad, to me. The letter included a copy of her will and a key to the chest in which she had stashed her savings. Remembering how my dear auntie would serve her guests only bread and water, I was sure she managed to save up a hefty stash of coin during her long and miserly life. So I raced off in a flash to my aunt's hut to pay my respects at her grave, and while there, take a gander at what's in that chest. But when I got there, the hut was in ruins, and the neighboring peasants were claiming a griffin had nested in my aunt's lands. We did fight that griffin, yeah. And I think that confirms our suspicion. So there I was, a fortune in arm's reach, and not a way to get at it. So I went back to Oxenford and raced to the academy, or to the alchemy? Oh no, that's the name of their inn, right? Fast as my feet would take me. For I'd heard the famous Kulikov and his crew were watering their horses there after their latest adventure. Don't think we'd heard of that name previously, other than earlier in this message. And his crew were, so we agreed terms quick enough. He'd get a portion of what we found in the chest, and set off to exterminate this plowing pest of a griffin. Now I'm sitting and watching Kulikov's lads arm the ballista, writing this all down to calm my nerves and pass the time. Fun's about to start. Interesting, so this is the ballista. We of course know that the griffin was still standing when we went over there, which suggests that whatever they tried to do to take out the griffin was of course unsuccessful. It appears as though, based on how there is a dead body here, perhaps and a big griffin feather, they loaded up the ballista, and it looks pretty broken here, So I think they loaded it up, tried to shoot at the Griffin, and got its attention. Who knows if they actually hit it or not. But then it came after them and damaged the ballista. Obviously killed that dude. And they made it sound like there were multiple people in that group. I'm not sure if we saw signs of numerous not-so-living people. Other than, like, that other guy there. And these burning bodies here, which I guess could have been the people that were part of that group. But I think we'll head over in that direction, and let's actually read the actual quest. I assume it's a treasure hunt. Yeah, surprise inheritance. It's level 38, but of course, I think that the primary reason for that was the Griffin. And that Griffin was quite strong. It might have been level 38. I think it may still be the highest level enemy that we fought. So while searching a body found in a ravaged campsite, Geralt found a key and a journal. Thinking the latter might shed light on its writer's fate, he slipped it into his bag. The notes contained information about a fortune hidden in a hut a griffin had roosted in. The coin had belonged to the deceased aunt, but since neither she nor her nephew had any use for it now, Geralt decided to kill the beast and take it for himself. So I think we've already done that killing the griffin part, because we did already check this place out. Is there anything over this way? I mean, it looks like this is the quote-unquote wrong direction, so to speak, but in the interest of being thorough, well, I mean, perhaps we could go either way. I mean, fastest way would just be to ignore the paths, go straight there, but kinda interested in seeing if there is anything on these paths, because I don't believe have been on them yet, at least not this specific section. Yeah, like, is that the name of the village we just liberated right there? Probably. I mean, this is just a little area, little small area that we've not yet had the chance to explore more thoroughly, more directly. So, chances are probably pretty low that we'll find anything new here, but just in case. Also, there is this, what looked to be sort of a waterfall. Does certainly get my attention. I mean, that's a fairly big drop-off. Kinda like to see if there's anything at the bottom of it, though. We tried searching here yet? We may have come at it from this angle previously. Perhaps even when we first came up to this spot. Because I vaguely remember doing this. Either way, it does not appear as though there are any chests there, hiding at the base of the waterfall. It is oftentimes one of the go-to places, that and, as you know, under the bridge downtown. And that was the same song those children were singing. Yeah, it sounded really familiar. And just based on the lyrics of it.
Damn it.
It did seem as though it was perhaps alluding to the same type of thing. Okay, so this is the place we're looking for. It was down here and then... So I assume we must have been able to get this open previously. It was just there was a chest down here that we could not unlock. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so now we can. 12 florins. What a family fortune. Resin, lesser runestone, horse blinders, and a normal runestone. I mean, it is something, but I'm not sure I would say that your greedy grandma actually saved up much, or aunt, I think it was. And I assume we're not going to get the griffins come back. There were some big Arakase around here that were pretty fun to fight, but we did do that previously, and I can hear some stuff over there, so like there's a chance we could head back over in that direction and track them down, but to a certain extent, I suppose that's sort of a been there, done that type of situation. At least with these specific ones, I believe. And if that does wrap things up there, then let's make a point of going up to this bandit camp, and as for the most efficient way to do that, we could head back to Heddle and fast travel there. Could head up here and fast travel there. We could just run it. All those things feel like they're pretty close, because of course, if we do fast travel, then we're going to have a loading screen. So I think we might just run this one out and or summon Roach. And we have been certainly to this specific area before, because like I said, we fought the Griffin, and we fought a series of Arakase in this area, and then once we get closer to the forest itself, then we did explore that back when we were super under-leveled. Now, it may mean that there are still things there that we did not have the chance to actually complete, or enemies that we did not have the chance to fight. So there may still be some things for us to do in that regard. Wouldn't necessarily rule that out. So let's keep our eyes peeled here and not necessarily just zip through at full speed.
On, Roach.
Just in case we find something we want to investigate or something we want to fight. Because, yeah, now we're officially back in the wood. But we have, of course, been back here for some other question marks and treasure hunts and whatnot previously. So it's not the first time we've been back when we're actually a reasonable level for this area. The ancient lesson and whatnot, that was all relatively recent. But we'll still head in the general direction we're looking for here. Like, is this path technically the most direct route? It's pretty windy either way, I suppose. Yeah, we'll go this way. Sure. Then we're gonna have to turn here. Just trying to make sure that there aren't, like, additional interesting things down the other pathways we might be missing out on. Like, what's that? Turn back before he lies dangers most foul. This be dead white wood. May have read that previously, but I think, you know, we got the general idea.
Giddy up.
This is not exactly the safest of locations. Yeah, this does seem like the kind of winding, maze-like area where you could definitely find some interesting things hidden in obscure corners. Our Roach did not like this. Oh! The boar that stuck up behind us here? Something. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, suddenly there's a stampede of them? There's actually a stampede of them. I'm not kidding. Actually a stampede of them. Now, they hit hard. So we should make a point of putting that back on. Like, is it just me or do these guys appear out of nowhere? Suddenly we're surrounded by them. So they're beasts, right? Let's throw this on. Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking. We had a few custom markers that we put down that we should probably remove. It's kind of deliberately walking directly on top of that. And what was the other one? We had one here as well. Especially now that we've cleared out those areas. And then I think that's most of the custom markers we had down. But as for right now, we got some... That is a big boar. Just me, or is that one bigger than the others? Please don't do that. Please allow me to Quen before you hit me again.
Bastard.
But we can? What? Boar just shot an arrow at us? How? Something shot an arrow at us. Little confused as to how that ended up happening. I mean, there are, yes, bandits around here, but I did not think we were that close to any of the bandit camps. Maybe I was wrong? Still one other enemy. A little bit further down. Over there. Get bonked! Okay. So that was an interesting experience. It's like I said, at least for a good while there, it did not appear as though there were any enemies in the same area as us. And then suddenly we had a swarm, a stampede of boars going after us.
Come on, Roach.
So I don't know what the deal is there. And I don't think we ever confirmed what the source of the crossbow was, but is this the... This is the question mark we're looking for, right? Looks like it. Bandit camp, at least. Is both a bandit camp and a question mark? It looks like it might be. Yeah, it is. Two right on top of each other. Guess there's like a hidden treasure at the bandit camp as well.
Whoa.
Let's save here. And then we'll jump in. We may have even looted that already. So I'm guessing we're gonna find a bunch of fallen knights here, of course. Whoa. Are they up high or down low? They are down low. There's a lot of them. Get whacked. He's casting spells. He's swinging a spade. Block this, buddy. It actually seems like they're being far less successful with blocking than they were when we were using our sword. Because back when we fought these guys previously, they blocked very regularly. Even the ones that did not have the shields. Like, of course, this guy's blocking us all the time. But that was supposed to be Nexi. Also, you are well done. You found the safety of the trees. Now, do we have insta-kill animations with the shovel? Because if so, then I absolutely want to see that. These all crossbowmen? Wow. A lot of them. What's the matter? Saw what happened to your friend? This guy trying to sneak up on us? Who do you think you are, buddy? Not so fast. Nobody sneaks up on Geralt of Rivia. Certainly not while he's wielding the shovel. Okay, so I think we got rid of all of them. But it does, of course, mean we're going to have lots of stuff to loot here. Another one that's theoretically... There we go. Master Ulrich's orders. Okay, yeah, we got some orders from seemingly just about every site. To Antoine File. Clear the elven ruins of all valuable artifacts. Once that's done, put the fire to the rubbish heap and burn it to the ground. Regarding your question about the elven manuscripts you discovered, hand over the diagram during the next change of patrols. Our armorsmith will set about deciphering it. Yeah, so that suggests that we might find another diagram, which was generally the case in the previous bandit camps with all the fallen knights, was that we tended to find a nice diagram in addition to everything else, and I guess it's going to be in this red chest, of course. Let's see what we find. Elegant letter. Diagram for Serum. We also got an achievement here for something. I did not actually see what it was. I was preoccupied, but to be delivered personally to the hands of the Honorable Knight Sir Antoine File. Our unusual partnership has brought me enormous pleasure. I trust Sir Knight finds himself in good health. I've catalogued the last shipment of elven sculptures and sold the entire lot at once. As per our agreement, find attached the bill of accounts for our most recent transactions. Sculpture, Gian Lorenzo, The Rape of Ellerin, buyer, Kurt Dysart. That name sounds vaguely familiar. 300 crowns, minus 35% transaction fee. Sculpture, Botticelli, Phoebus and Daphne, buyer, Kurt Dysart. Also, is that one of the guys that gave us a Witcher contract a while back? Sculpture, Gian Lorenzo, The Ecstasy of Gavalci the Bloody, buyer, this time different person, Rudolph de Jonquier. That name also sounds vaguely familiar. Sadly, I was unable to finalize the sale of Pietas by... All these are, in case this was not clear, all of these are names or slight modifications to names of famous artists. Michael Angeloch. Not Angelo, Angeloch, mind you. Brandon & Co. Company sued for a deferment of the sale due to some claimed financial difficulties. Rumors around the town claim the firm's senior partner was robbed in broad daylight by some white-haired witcher. I don't know what they're talking about. But for obvious reasons, I did not agree to prolong the payment period. The messenger with the earnings will present himself at the agreed-upon spot. I impatiently await the next transport. Yaromir E. Carstairs. A man ahead of his time. Carstairs.